Rome, the eternal city, a place where nearly every stone carries the memory of centuries. But on November 3, 2025, a shocking event reminded the world that even ancient monuments are not immune to time or tragedy. This is the story of the Torre dei Conti, a 13th century tower that partially collapsed during restoration works near the Roman Forum, leaving one worker dead and others injured. To understand the impact of this event, we need to step back almost 800 years. The Torre dei Conti was built in 1238 by the powerful Conti family during the papacy of Innocent III. Once a fortified tower rising some 60 meters above medieval Rome, it served not only as a defensive structure, but also as a statement of power in the turbulent politics of the Middle Ages. In its prime, the tower dominated the skyline, so imposing that locals called it the Tower of Hercules. But earthquakes and centuries of urban change chipped away at it. In the 1600s and again in the early 20th century, major collapses reduced its height dramatically. Even in ruin, the Torre dei Conti remained a silent witness to Rome's layered past. Standing just a short walk from the Colosseum and the Via dei Fori Imperiali, at the heart of archaeological Rome, by 2025, the tower had been closed to the public for years due to structural concerns, awaiting restoration works to stabilize and preserve it for future generations. On the morning of November 3, 2025, restoration teams were working inside the tower. Around 10:30 a.m., a thunderous crash shook the area as part of the structure suddenly gave way. Dust billowed over nearby streets. Emergency services rushed to the scene. At least one worker, a 66-year-old man from Romania, became trapped beneath the fallen masonry. Initial reports indicated that multiple others were injured. As rescue teams began digging through rubble, a second internal collapse struck, roughly 90 minutes after the first. Complicating the emergency operation, the effort to reach the trapped worker lasted nearly 11 hours, involving over 140 firefighters using specialized ladders and drones to navigate the unstable structure. Tragically, the worker did not survive. The news rippled across Italy, striking a deep cultural nerve. What had fallen was not only stone, but a piece of Rome's identity. The collapse sparked grief and anger. Residents expressed shock that one of the city's historic landmarks could fail so suddenly. Authorities immediately sealed off the surrounding streets, concerned about additional risks to nearby archaeology and structures. But the most urgent questions came quickly. How could this happen during restoration? Was anyone at fault? Is Rome failing to protect its heritage? Within days, prosecutors opened a manslaughter and negligent disaster inquiry to determine whether safety measures had been ignored. No official cause has been identified yet. Investigators are examining whether the renovation works may have contributed to destabilization or whether pre-existing structural weaknesses played a larger role. The Torre dei Conti was already a fragile monument. Centuries of earthquakes had destabilized the core masonry. Earth movements and humidity likely weakened joints. Parts of the original tower had been damaged or removed long ago, diminishing stability. Restoration was meant to safeguard what remained, and yet something went catastrophically wrong. Experts have suggested several possible contributing factors: internal fractures hidden beneath the surface disturbances from ongoing construction, weakening of support structures during restoration, settling, or shifting of ancient foundations. But again, no official conclusion yet. The investigation continues. Rome is more than a city. It's an open-air museum, but one that must coexist with modern life. Traffic, construction, pollution, climate impacts. The collapse is a sobering reminder. Even the greatest works of ancient engineering need constant care. And the disaster raises uncomfortable truths. If the Torre dei Conti could collapse, what about other monuments under stress? How many historic structures are one earthquake or one mistake away from destruction? Even more importantly, how do we protect the people who work to preserve them? The death of a worker who dedicated his craft to restoring history is a tragedy as symbolic as it is real. Today, the tower stands broken, but not lost. Engineers are assessing how much of the structure can be salvaged. Some experts believe that parts may have to be dismantled for safety. Others argue that the remaining core should be reinforced and kept standing as a testament to the event itself. It will likely be months or years before a final plan is approved, but one thing is certain. The collapse has changed the conversation about how Italy restores and protects its endless heritage sites. The Torre dei Conti survived nearly 800 years of history. From medieval wars to earthquakes, from papal feuds to fascist urban redesign, what brought it down wasn't a siege or a great disaster, but a quiet weekday morning. Its fall reminds us that history is fragile. It needs care, respect, and vigilance. But it also teaches another truth. The people who guard our heritage, archaeologists, firefighters, engineers, and workers, are the true pillars holding history together. Their safety must come first. As Rome mourns the loss of a worker and a wounded monument, the world watches, wondering how we'll protect what time has left us. Because when history collapses, we all lose a piece of who we are. Share your thoughts below on this historic tragedy, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to stay updated on the world's most shocking events.